This Sejal ma'am, we are live. Sejal ma'am,
Yes. Hello.
hello ma'am. So we are going live. We are virtually live now. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I welcome you all for Beyond Education, inspiring journeys to inspire the world. Today we have with us a very special guest, Sejal Rana, who is sharing her story with us. And Beyond Education, it is a unique talk show that invites people from different backgrounds to share their stories because we believe everyone has a story to tell that can inspire millions of people around the world. And sharing our stories with the world makes us more human. And this is about IDYM, let me tell you. It's an organization which has been working in 195 countries, and its main aim is to provide space and satellite education to each and every student in India. Until now, it has provided free workshops in satellite making to more than 1.5 lakh students in more than 60 countries. So I once again welcome you, ma'am. And before starting with the introduction, I will take this opportunity to introduce you. Sejal
Thank
Himal, she's a community builder. She has a Facebook group, Tari Zameen Par, which has more than 11,000 members. And the purpose of the group is to support with mental health awareness, platform to showcase talent and provide the international credit platform to kids. She's the author of Sunshine Through My Window, which has anecdotes from mothers on how the children inspire them. She's an international dance winner of Malaysia. She is an IT professional with prestigious certifications for more than 22 years. BA Visharad in Bharatanatyam, trained in classical Indian music in Madhyama and trained in playing harmonium. And she has worked with street kids while training as a play therapist. So I welcome you, ma'am, and
Thank,
let's
thank you
start.
so much for the warm welcome.
It was really great to know. Ma'am, as I was reading, especially about your group that you have, ties and so let's start with that. So, ma'am, what
Okay.
is it about and how it is working?
Yeah. So I started this group in 2019. So we just completed on 14th of April 4 years of this online community. And actually, I was part of a training program where I had to take up a community project. So I just started this group because I wanted to do something around children and families. I always had that dream. And I thought, let me start with a Facebook group. And it was just a 2 months program. But in 2 months, my group members were around 300 plus, which I did not imagine at that time. And then even after the program, I continued with that. So earlier, the intention was to, it's primarily for the mental health of children. So I connected to a lot of counselors and added them to the group, and we started publishing regular articles on the mental health awareness. And then suddenly, the first year was like slow, and we were taking baby steps. And then suddenly, COVID came in. And that time we were thinking, how can we engage families positively during this time when there's such a lot of negativity spreading around? So what we did is we started providing our platform for children to come live and showcase their talent. And they were free to showcase anything that they loved. And in 1 year, that is from April 2021 to March 2022, in 1 year, we had around 240 plus live performances on our platform. And children did various things like, dance, music, singing, playing instruments, uh, art and craft. They even painted during the live session. They showed best out of West. And not only that, but they also actually did some scientific experiments. So there were lot of things that children did during that 1 year. And that's when we got such a lot of positive feedback that how the platform is engaging families positively. They learned new skills because of the live sessions. They could engage with their parents because of the live sessions, because they were discussing with the parents and learning new skills. And overall, they developed the confidence, and their courage was built because of this platform, slowly and gradually. So we received a lot of these feedbacks, and we continued with that. So we started then live contests. And after that, in 2021, we started with the offline events. So we started acknowledging children for different areas where they have their talent. So as Tare Zameen Par, what is, even the movie said, Tare Zameen Par is a movie, a very popular movie, which emphasizes each child is unique. So it's not only studies, but each child would have their own uniqueness. And as parents, as teachers, one should encourage whatever their uniqueness is. So we developed this event where, award event, where children can nominate themselves in different areas, where we kept art and creativity, academics, of course, academics and all-rounder is there, plus fashion, technology, sports, art. So all these different categories where children were nominated. And then, as per the jury's decision, we started felicitating some of the best children and some upcoming children who are good in their field, but they have long way to go. So that's how we started offline events. And we did around 4 offline events in last 2.5 to 3 years. So yeah, that's about Tare Zameen Par. And I think a couple of things which I would like to mention is, like, when we started live sessions, around 70% of children did live performance for the first time on Tare Zameen Par platform. So they actually got this as it was a kick-off platform for them. And to give an example, one of the child was just 4 years old, and the mother wanted the child to perform, and they taught them some songs on Casio, and the child played. And when the child played, the parents got to know that actually the child has a talent in this area, which they never knew earlier. So then they put the child into professional training, and the child learned a lot of it through professional training, and then even went ahead and got named into Asian Book of World Records. So that way we have many such examples where children started their co-curricular activities through Tare Zameen Par platform, and then went ahead and achieved at many other platforms, plus the India records and the Asia records, and made different kind of records there.
So that's wonderful. You just started with a Facebook group, and it gives so much, and you connected with so many children, and that too, they will be provided a chance to just identify their talent, not only show their talent, but yes,
Even identify.
yeah, even like you were telling about one of the parents, they didn't know that their child had that talent.
Yeah.
He could be doing it. And so, yes, that's really a great difference that you have made through your activity, and especially your group that you are having. And then you have also written a book, which is Sunshine to My Window. So can you just tell something about the book, what it is about?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I always had an dream of, having an author under my name. And then while my children were growing up, so I have 2 daughters, and they are now 19 and 17 years. And while they were growing up, I made them participate in a lot of different activities, which actually my mother used to do with me. So I just carried the legacy ahead. And while they were doing it, I could sense that they are doing much more than what I had thought, actually. And in so many ways, my children started inspiring me. So there have been so many cases where we hear that parents inspire children. So in my case, maybe I might have inspired them in some of the cases, but I myself was inspired by them, that when I used to watch them participate in fashion shows, I got inspired and I started participating in fashion shows at the age of 38, 40. And I started doing a lot of things after 37, 38 years of my life, seeing my children, watching my children. So that's when I got the idea that many books we read how children get inspired by their parents, but there has to be a book which talks about how parents are getting inspired by their children. So I was reading this book, Chicken Soup of the Soul, and in that there were so many stories of how the parents were inspired, the children were inspired by parents. And that's how it struck me, how beautiful it would be if I can come up with such a book. And then I approached many of my friends who have children, and I know they are doing so well. And I was sure that they are also inspired by their children. But sometimes what happens, even if we are inspired, we are not aware about it unless we actually think. I wanted people to be aware about that part also, that you can also get inspired by your children. That inspiration can be at your home. It's not necessary all the time that you get inspired by big leaders and big people who are there in our country or across the globe. Maybe there are small things which your children teach you and which goes a long way for you as a parent. So that's how I came up with the book. I talked to my friends and they all really loved the idea. And there were, along with me, 19 other mothers who were ready to participate in this. And they were also co-author of the book. And that's how I came up with this book.
Yes, that's wonderful. Yes, even I feel like we are inspired by our children. They teach us a lot in that, yes. And it was a really a very interesting book because then the parents must have written, especially the mothers would have written about it. So it would have been really a very great book. And yes, one more thing that I would like to know from you. You are BA Visharad in Bharatanatyam, you are trained in classical Indian music, and you're also an international dance winner. So can you just tell about something of this talent, about your dance and singing, about your band, about winning the competition? When did it all happen?
Yeah, sure. So, as a child, as I mentioned, my mother used to make me participate in a lot of co-curricular activities. So she was the one because of whom I joined Bharatnatyam and I completed my Visharad. I had actually already joined my engineering college when last 2 years were pending, but my mother ensured that while completing my college also, I complete my Bharatnatyam curriculum. And I completed that and I was BA. After that, I got busy with my studies and then my job. Then I got married. So I used to perform a lot as a child. I have also got a lot of trophies and prizes through my competitions. But there was a time in between when I lost touch. And after marriage, then again, I started participating in some cultural activities and in dance. And then slowly and gradually, my children, so both my daughters, I made them also learn Bharatnatyam. They also learned Bharatnatyam. And then when I was around 40 years, that's when I got to know about an competition, International Dance Festival in Malaysia. So just a year, or I would say 8 to 10 months back, I had joined a Bharatnatyam class here. I thought, let me start reviving all that I had learned. And I approached a guru and started learning. And through her, I got the opportunity to go. Now, as luck would have it, I participated in Bharatnatyam also and even a folk dance. And when I was participating in these or learning these dances, I developed a health issue and I got spondylitis at that time, because of which I was finding it extremely difficult to practice. So I had to take 2 weeks of break. And then in spite of that break and all, then in last 1 week, I actually started practicing, and I did this entire thing in 1 week to 10 days. But finally, I could go there, perform, and not only perform, I could even win the prize. So yeah, I think a lot of people are part of this game that I have.
Yes, that's really great. And one more interesting thing, like you are talking about your dance, you're saying that you're also an IT professional, I think, IT professional with prestigious certifications that you've written. So now how this happened, being interested in dance and being an IT professional, you can just share about
Yeah.
this.
So for me, academics was always a priority, right? From my childhood had been like that. So and I used to learn these various skills and art and co-curricular also during my childhood. So when I grew, I was an engineer, so it was like by default I need to be in a job, or I need to have that profession in my own field. So that's how I joined in 2000 as an IT professional. Today, even today, I am an IT professional. And with my children, as my children started growing up, I again started participating in all the co-curricular activities that I used to as a child or as a college going student. So that was already there. Uh, in addition to that, I wanted to do something around children. So I always had this thought that if I am in my job, it's very difficult for me. People who are entrepreneurs, for them it is a different thing because they can manage their time in their own way. They are the boss of their time. But when you have a job, you are reporting to someone else, and there you have to follow a schedule and time. So I always felt I can do only after I retire from my job. I don't think it will be possible for me. And then you know, but because I had a very strong wish to do it, somehow through this training program that I was doing, this also clicked in. And what helped me as IT professional was my area is project management. So there we manage projects, we schedule projects, we have a plan in place. So those things actually help me in my personal life to do so many things at one go, because planning and scheduling is something that supports you in your life to do other things also. So that's the same I did in my passion areas or my co-curricular activities. And that's how my professional job has also supported me in my other areas. And not only that, I think having support from your family, having support from the team, having support from your office members, from your friends, that's a very big thing. And there I would only say that I have been really fortunate to have right people at the right time in the right situation. That kind of support which supported me to and pushed me to move forward and gave me wings to fly.
Actually, that was very difficult, finding right people at the right time, in the right
Yes.
situation, and to that. That is
Right.
sometimes very difficult. But
Yeah.
you suppose, you started with working with children, and then people started joining you. In fact, when you started, you must be having very few people, and then people started joining you. So here, I would just like to know, ma'am, was it so easy to reach out to the people? How was the reaction of the people when you started with your work with the children?
You're referring to Tare Zameen Par, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So when I started, it was like a baby step, very small steps. And when I was trying to approach different people also, not everyone was easily convinced to join the group as a counselor or even as a parent, as a family, because they didn't know anything about the group. They didn't have any past records or experience about that. So initially it was very slow. There were times in the first year when I thought, I think I should leave it. It's not going to make sense. People are not going to join. Maybe I'm just wasting my time. So there were a lot of such internal thoughts that would come continuously. But the COVID times. So that was the second year of my group. So the first year did not move well, nothing major happened there. But then because the COVID hit, somehow it was a boon in disguise for my community. Because of that, the parents and the families, they were getting a lot of time at home. They were free. People were so scared. There was negativity all around. They actually needed something to diverge themselves, their attention, and get engaged positively. They wanted some platform. And that's where, I think Tare Zameen Par started supporting these families and parents and children by providing this platform. They could engage themselves positively through the platform every day, every afternoon, evening. We had these performances. So they used to look forward for this. Then they themselves started asking me if I have any other contests. We were having only performances. Then they asked for contests. And because of these questions, then it gave me an idea to start online contest. Otherwise, that idea was not there earlier. But parents themselves started asking me, which gave me a lot of other ideas. And that's how it actually started moving. So COVID time was the time when, I would say, from 1,700 members in 1 year, it reached 10,000 in the second year. So that was kind of a jump we received in our expansion of a group in just that 1 year of COVID.
Yes, ma'am. Everywhere, well, when we have this kind of work, yes. With the COVID, there were a lot of changes in fact.
Yes.
Like especially like coming back to a place for many professions. That was a big question after the COVID.
Yes.
And yes, ma'am. For the Tare Zameen Par, you also have Ma Awards.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
in which you have given recognition to moms for their contribution. So can you just tell something about it? I would like to hear from you. Well, it was very difficult, but I would like to hear from you.
Yeah. Because Tare Zameen Par is a platform for families and children, we were thinking of doing something not only for children. So for children, we were already doing, but we thought, what is it that we can do as an extension of that? And there are many events that happen overall for women entrepreneurs, women awards, but that doesn't connect with the theme or the purpose of our group. So that's when we started thinking about mothers. And because, in India, like the word ma is very, very close, for mothers. So that's how one of my team members in Tare Zameen Par suggested that we can have, instead of mother word, we can have ma words. And that really touched my heart. And that's how we came up with that name. And then the intention was, today mothers are also doing a lot. They are raising their children. That is one part of it that all the mothers are doing. In addition to that, there are so many who are doing such a lot for the society in addition to raising their own children. And that is an additional thing that they are doing. Today, through Tare Zameen Par, I got to know about so many different mothers doing marvelous, stupendous work in different fields. So I thought it would be a really wonderful idea to actually award them, give them recognition, felicitate them for the work that they are doing. And in that award, we also felicitated 2 to 3 single mothers who actually brought up their children single-handedly in a lot of challenging situations. And one of the mother was she had lost her husband when I think the child was very small, few months, and the child was born blind. And in that situation, the mother brought up the child, not only that, but has made her a wonderful singer. And today she is going all across India and even outside India to sing and give performances. And she is just 11, 12 years. So when you see this kind of things that mothers do, if I put myself in that situation, I feel I don't think I can really do such a lot. So that's how, we came up with this and recognized around 45 mothers through our Ma Awards event.
Yeah, that's really great. Really hats off to you. It really touched my heart when I was just listening to you, and especially like you were talking about a mother who had a blind child and how she's performing. So it gives goosebumps when we listen to this, and you know how happy you would have been when you got associated with such people for working with them. It's really great pleasure. Then the satisfaction is just not we can't explain that the happiness, the satisfaction that you must have experienced at that time. It was just not so easy to just mention in one or two sentences, I think.
Right. It is a feeling. Yeah.
And the talks, you also had expert talks, and they were mainly related to emotional health, mental health, and physical health of the people. So, because again, nowadays, when we talk about the teenagers, we talk about the adolescent. So it has become very essential, I think, to talk about mental health and emotional health. So what, according to you, are some of the reasons that today we have to talk so much about mental health and emotion and mental intelligence, and we have to spread awareness on that? So why it is becoming so necessary nowadays?
What I feel, that's my personal view, but what I feel is because today there's such a lot of exposure for children, online exposure, Google, such a lot of social media, and even teenagers today are accessing social media everywhere, and they see their friends, like whatever happens with adult, this happens with adult also. When we see others putting up their posts, they are enjoying, they are going somewhere, they are happy, they are eating, having some party. Now when we watch others doing that, they start feeling that, oh, others are enjoying, but I am not enjoying. I have seen even adults going through that. So for children and teenagers, such a lot of exposure to social media, I think, is really bad, because when it starts impacting you mentally just by looking at some posts, you don't even know whether it is true or false, or the person is fake or just put in like that. So that's one of the thing. And today's children are also, I think, extremely sensitive, very sensitive. Like if I compare when I was a child, uh, we used to have teachers who would be harsh to us. Our parents would scold us. They would sometimes even give us one slap also. But we were okay with that. We would not answer back, or we used to think if they have done this, that means we have done something wrong. That's how we used to think. But today, the entire scenario has changed. Today, you know, maybe it always differ from situation to situation. But if teachers scold a bit also, there's a hype created about a lot of small things about parents and all. So I think all these make children very vulnerable and sensitive, and they're not making themselves strong to handle the tomorrow's situation. And the peer pressure is also very high today. So my elder daughter is now studying in second year college in Mumbai. So I know the kind of peer pressure that she also goes through. So I think these are the different reasons why today mental health has become very important. And also one thing is, mental health probably was important earlier also, but because there was no social media, there was no such system that would communicate lakhs and crores of people around the globe just through one news. Maybe those things were not known to everyone so frequently the way it is known today. That is also one of the things I feel. And our changing technology is good, but I think the extreme usage of social media is something that is causing damage to our generation. Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. And because of that, most of the experts say that the people are getting onto digital addiction. And it's also said that it is more dangerous than the substance addiction that we have seen sometimes. And in few years, in cities, we would we will be having de-addiction centers for this digital addiction if you don't control the children nowadays. So
True,
it
absolutely.
is, it is sometimes even when I hear people speaking, they say it that way. Okay, if we don't control the children, we will be having de-addiction centers for getting rid of the digital addiction. All those until and
Yes.
yes, now I would like to know something about you. So who is your role model?
Sorry?
Who is your role model?
My role model. Honestly speaking, I don't have any external role model that I look up to, but whoever I meet, on in my daily lives, if I like something about someone, I try to pick up that quality and see how can I implement that for my life. Because I feel different people have different things in them which we can learn. And or if you talk about a role model, I would say my father and my grandfather, because I have seen them all my lives. So there are a lot of qualities about my father and grandfather that I like to have within me. But overall, I always keep looking at different people and what is the good thing in them that I can pick up. Because when you have only one role model, even if the person has some shortcomings, you might tend to neglect that or avoid that thing because that person is your role model. But when you look up to everyone as someone you can learn from something from, I think you can always keep learning every day. And whatever you don't like, you can just ignore or avoid that.
Yes, of course. That's really true. In fact, we should be learning from each and every person.
Yeah.
Yes, they teach us something. Even if
Yes,
they do something good for us, they would do good, bad for us, they go against us. We learn from everybody. And
absolutely.
yes, you have a lot of achievements, yes, of course. But what, according to you, is your biggest achievement?
My biggest achievement for me personally is my platform Tarizameen Par, because that is something I've created on my own. You know, it was the thought was mine, the efforts were mine, the creation was mine. So that's, is very close to my heart, and it's just like my third baby after my two children. So that's closest to my heart. So any new initiative that we take here through platform, that gives me immense happiness. Like I told you about the events, so it was also just a thought that I want now this award event to spread across India. So the first we did in Pune, then second in Mumbai. When we did in Mumbai, it felt as if it's not going to work. We were not getting children who would participate, we were not getting plays. But then we did in Mumbai, and then just last Sunday I did it in Gujarat, which is a different state altogether. So that was the third event and a different state. And that's how now I plan to go to across India, and maybe after that outside India. Let's see, fingers crossed. But yeah, that's my biggest accomplishment as per what I see.
Yes, of course. And when we just said something, when we think of something, okay, that happens to this. So we now we start putting up efforts. Might be sometimes it will take some a longer period, but we
Yes.
achieve it. When we think, like you said, fingers crossed. So if
Yeah.
there that is we have that determination, we achieve it. And
Yes.
yes, and I hope that whatever you have thought of, going across India with your business, and I hope that you will be achieving it. All of the best wishes and prayers over to you. And before ending the session, just a few tips for, especially for the parents, if you would like to give. Like we were talking about how the children are going through so many issues nowadays. So
Yeah.
parents, they have a great role to play. So a few tips for the parents.
Yes. So one thing which I would love to say, and I normally talk about it in my events also, is allow your child to pursue what he or she wants. That is, I think, the most important thing. And if you don't know, there are tools today. You have career counseling, psychometric tests. There are so many different tools that parent can use to find out what the child is good at, what the child wants to do, where are his or her strengths, and leverage on those tools for your child. And if your child is showing interest in, suppose the child is showing interest in singing, he wants to be a singer. Now, as parents, we know that there is a risk. Maybe the child might not be able to make a career there. He might fail, his steps might fail. So it is important for the child to build his career, to study, but at the same time, allow your child to at least pursue and try. Let him or her try whatever he wants, so that tomorrow he will not feel that, oh, I was not even allowed to try this. Allow that. So give that liberty to your child. Maybe as a passion, tomorrow he or she might not make a career, but it might come up as a passion, and it will be a stress buster for the child tomorrow when he pursues the passion that he has. So that is one of the most important thing. Secondly, I would say communicate with your child on a daily basis, on a regular basis, because what we talked about, the mental health issues, a parent will get to know about these issues that the child is facing only if the parent is in regular communication with the child. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult. Parents don't get to know till it reaches a different level if there is no communication. And to build that communication, the most important thing which I have experienced and even I have done in my life is talk about your failures to your child. Everybody talks about success. Yes, you talk about success, but talk about your failures so that the child knows it is absolutely okay to fail. And if I'm doing something, I will fail. And there's nothing wrong in that. And that will allow the child to be open to failure and even come and talk to you because you have also shared your failures with the child. So yeah, I think these are two very important points that I would like to put up for the parents.
That's really very wonderful, because yes, we need to communicate with the children and we need to also share about the failures. Because
Yes.
every time we talk, actually we educate the children to be successful.
Yeah.
We never tell them there are failures in life. If we come across some failures, how we are going to feel better. So that was really a very great tip coming from you. And now with this, we come to the end of our conversation. And it was really great talking to you and learning from you how you have been working with the children and making a difference in the life of so many families at the same time. That was great learning from you. Thank you very much for joining the show, and thank you very much for sharing your journey with us. And may you prosper and like all your wishes may be fulfilled, and like you want to grow across India, so it will surely happen one day. And
Thank you so much.
before ending the show, I would like to give be gratitude to Ravi Shankar, so the founder of the event company. So comes up with new people every day to share new stories. And also see our CEO, they will ask me and Zenat for all their efforts in making this show successful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, IDYM, and thank you, Anjum, very much. I really love to be here. Thank you.